Aries Spears just got called out by a very familiar guest on VladTV. Aries Spears being called out at this point is a quarterly tradition. Aries Spears says something every 3 months that people are upset at and people call him out and he gets destroyed. But the guest who called out Aries Spears, to be honest, this is like the pot calling the kettle black. This guest could very well be considered worse than Aries Spears, if not Aries Spears 2.0, because they both do the same thing, right? They both have opinions or they both have a knack for calling somebody in the same field that they are in who does better than them in that particular field, who is light years above them. They call them out for being worse or for being unfunny or, for not being on their level when everybody and their mama would say the person that they're claiming is not on their level is light years better than them. So Faizon Love, the same comedian who has gotten backlash in the past for calling Dave Chappelle overrated, claiming Dave Chappelle never made him laugh, Dave Chappelle isn't funny, only white people watch Dave Chappelle's skit's not that funny. This guy is calling Aries Spears a sellout because Aries Spears had similar critiques of Ice Cube. Aries Spears went on VladTV and Aries Spears says that Ice Cube isn't funny. He don't like Ice Cube as a rapper, nor Ice Cube as an actor.
I gave, I was like, hey, Q, why don't we put that raccoon mother to be on Vlad? I know that's your guy, that raccoon. He's such a dick. It's not even a dick. He just hates the West Coast.
Aries Spears.
Raccoon.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. So Aries, who's a regular on my show.
Raccoon blood.
Did, as part of the interview, he basically says that he doesn't like Ice Cube as a rapper or an actor. You don't like anything Ice Cube's done?
Nothing.
Really?
Ice Cube does nothing for me as a rapper and an actor.
Okay.
Nothing.
Let's start with the rap. Fuck the Police. You don't think that's a classic song?
It's classic because of what it represents in terms of black struggle symbolism and what black people have gone through with the police historically. It's the song that makes you go, yeah! Yeah, I get how it can touch your emotions, but it don't do nothing for me.
Straight Outta Compton, Gangster. These songs?
I'm not opposed to some Aries Spears slander, but if we're calling Aries Spears a sellout because he criticized Ice Cube, then shouldn't we call Faizon a sellout too for what he said about Dave Chappelle? Or is it just because Faizon is from the West Coast, Ice Cube is from the West Coast, and these West Coast dudes view their rappers as gods and you can't criticize them or talk about them? Because I do believe that Aries Spears was 100% wrong. That Aries Spears was hating, he was tripping, he was out of touch. I made an entire video calling out Aries Spears for what he said about Ice Cube. But I can say that Faizon Love can't call Aries Spears a sellout if Faizon Love has been on the internet for the last decade saying this about Dave Chappelle.
Now I saw you on Sway Show yesterday. You said Dave Chappelle is the wackest comedian out there. Why you feel that way, Faizon?
I said,
Goodness.
I said he's, well, first of all, we were talking about the Monique situation, and she feels that she should get the same as him or whoever, whatever.
Close to, she said. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not really about that. Netflix is just with him. They've always with Dave. They don't really with us, but white people built Dave. He's never, for a fact, he's never made niggas laugh. You gotta say, Dave Chappelle was around when we did Friday. He the only nigga that ain't in it. You wonder why.
Do we also call that selling out? The one thing I think any and everyone would agree on, probably outside of the West Coast, other than a West Coast dude, but we can all agree that Dave Chappelle is better at telling jokes than Ice Cube, right? Can we all agree upon that? Well, if Dave Chappelle ain't funny from Faizon Love standards, then imagine what he thinks about Ice Cube. You feel me? So this is why I think this entire video of him calling out Aries Spears is very hypocritical. Now, he's correct. Right? His message is correct. Aries Spears is tripping. Ice Cube is funny. Ice Cube does rap really well. Ice Cube is, a good actor. But Faizon Love can't say that due to his history. Faizon Love continued, and he said something that would really piss off Aries Spears in his response. See, Faizon Love listed out all the good things that Ice Cube has done for the culture. He said Ice Cube gave us Chris Tucker, Cat Williams. Ice Cube gave us these great movies, these legendary songs. Ice Cube is a pillar in his community. Ice Cube has done tremendous things for the culture. And then he asked VladTV, what has Aries Spears done for the culture? And I will be real, that was good, okay? Aries, I'm sorry, man, but Faizon Love got you there, bro.
Now, I disagreed with him the whole time.
I heard you. I know you was goosing him too, because you know what he was gonna say. Come on, Aries. I was like,
No, I disagreed. I like Ice Cube is I would say, definitely a top 10 all-time rapper for me, possibly top 5,
Listen,
but definitely the top 10.
let's just do this. Flat out. Let's just solve it right here. What would the culture be without an Ice Cube? Boys in the Hood,
Yep.
the movie and the song.
John Singleton.
John Singleton. Huh?
Yeah.
Now, what would the culture be without Raccoon Blood?
Aries Spears.
What has he contribute to the culture?
Mad TV.
Come on, no. No,
Mad TV.
no,
He's
no.
a great stand-up.
How about
He's a great
no,
stand-up comedian.
no.
Yes, he is.
Come on, Vlad, you gotta be
we're not
honest.
I
You
am
gotta be-
honest.
I said, how could the culture go on? What has he done to... Matter of fact, I'm gonna give Peel and Kill and Peel Mad TV, because they was the writers. But what did Raccoon Blood, what has he created to change the scope of the culture?
Faizon Love didn't tell not one lie. Ice Cube has done so much for the culture. Ice Cube has pushed his culture forward so much. And even if you don't want to give him credit as an actor, cool. As a comedian, cool. But to say that Ice Cube, the rapper, is trash, to me, that's where I believe a lot of the criticism came from Aries Spears. Because people could maybe hear you out with the acting, but when you say Ice Cube, the rapper, was trash, that's when people now begin to see whatever you're saying as just outright irrational hate. But with Faizon Love, again, if we're being petty here, we could then say, what has Faizon Love done to push the culture forward? The same thing applies, because Friday is Ice Cube's creation, not yours. I can't recall any memorable moments from Faizon's stand-up career. I'm not saying he's not a good stand-up comedian. I don't know any memorable moments. So the same thing applies to Faizon Love. Again, the pot calling the kettle black. All right? Because when he was trashing Dave Chappelle, we could have asked him, we can name a lot of things that Dave Chappelle has done to push forward culture. What has Faizon Love done? Now, Aries Spears responded back to this. And Aries Spears would essentially call out Faizon Love and say, hey, Faizon Love can't see me. And he would also say that he don't hate the West Coast. So this narrative that he's only doing this because he dislikes the West Coast is false.
Well, Faizon Love was here yesterday.
Oh, he shouldn't be saying anything right now.
Faizon Love was here yesterday.
He's got no room to talk at all.
Faizon is my man. I love Faizon. He has some words to say. So,
Of course. This is why I say people are stupid, including that blimp. Because listen, if I'm a he's the head of a his whole body is shaped like a penis's head. Did I not say what he gave to the game culturally, particularly West Coast? So what the fuck is Faizon talking about? And pound for pound, I'm saying this. Hey, Faizon, nigga, if you ever think you can out-funny me, I'll pound for pound blow ass into oblivion, nigga. You don't even have the depth or the range that I fucking have. You fat fucking booger. Concentrate on your situation you going through.
Faizon Love and Aries Spears wanting to compete in some type of comedy competition or having a mid-off is one of the most unexciting things I think I've heard all 2025. Nobody wants to see that. We good, bro. We good. Now, is Aries Spears correct in a sense of, maybe Faizon Love is a hypocrite, or maybe Faizon Love can't really see him. I don't know. I don't care enough about Aries Spears or Faizon Love or their body of work to make a determination or even attempt to make an assessment on who's funnier and who's not. But what I will say, man, is Faizon Love is correct in terms of Aries Spears criticizing Ice Cube. I think specifically for the music, something he's not really qualified to do. I feel like Faizon Love is correct in that sense. Now, in terms of Aries Spears doing this because he dislikes the West Coast, now he lives on the West Coast, so he can't dislike it too much, but he didn't do himself any favors because the only other comedian that he responded back to or attacked who gave their commentary on Aries Spears and his Ice Cube thing was Scruncho, who is also a West Coast comedian.
There was a name, I shouldn't even get this no love, Scruncho. Comedian named Scruncho.
Yeah.
This who I hit him up in his DMs. He never replied back. I said, let me tell you something, man. I've never disrespected you. I've never had any ill will towards you. I've never said anything about you. But I know what you're doing. You're riding off the coattails of my name to hopefully get a clip that goes viral. Because in the clip, you get Scruncho says Aries Spears is trash for the Ice Cube thing. No, again, I've never attacked Scruncho. When he's shown up at the Ontario Improv, when I've been there for a weekend, and without permission, he's in the green room, I say, yo, what up, dog? I don't go, hey, man, this is my green room. Fuck out of here. I'm polite. I'm cordial. But the funny part was, and this is why I go, people, we're at a stage in life where we overuse and abuse words. Words like legend. Words like hate. Before they start the clip, the guy goes, all right, y'all. Right now, we're going to have my man commentator on the Aries Spears Ice Cube controversy, the legendary Scruncho. Word. This is legendary? Based on what?
You happen to hear this back and forth between Ice Cube and Aries Spears, man? What are your take on all of this, man?
Well, man, first of all, you gotta understand it's a difference between a prophet and an idiot. You see what I mean? Cat Williams is a prophet. Aries Spears is an idiot. You know what I mean? And you gotta understand. You need to understand this, bro. Aries Spears, excuse my language, but Aries Spears is a talented, gifted entertainer. But he's not a comedian, bro. You know, he's an entertainer. And just because you making people laugh don't mean you funny. See, funny, bro, let me tell you something about Aries Spears, man. He that's why his perspective is, whenever you going viral from throwing people under the bus more than you are for your jokes, man, you a clown. You depend on, you know, like, how can I put this, homie? You're an entertainer, bro. You impersonate people, which is funny, but that's not you. And then you don't really do, at your shows, you do crowd work. You fuck people. You know what I mean? Humiliation is a form of funny, but it's not. It's not what you consider authentic comedy. You don't master the art. That's why you put a script in that nigga hand. He don't have nothing funny on film. Nobody could ever tell you what the fuck he said on film that was funny. He's a character, homie. He's like I say, he's a gifted clown. You know, he don't have the spirit of funny. He gotta fuck somebody, act like another nigga. We don't even know who he is. And the ironic part is he swept and down, he's from New York. But you've been in LA longer than you've been in New York. You came out here when you was 15 because you could act like another nigga, Eddie Murphy. You act like Eddie, look like Eddie, wanted to be Eddie. And that got you to Hollywood at 15, 16 years old.
The same level of disgust that Aries Spears has that Scruncho can speak on his career where he's more accomplished is the same level of disgust that Ice Cube and others have when they hear that Aries Spears is online talking about how they're not legendary and how they're not great, and they're looking at Aries Spears' accomplishment like, man, bro, you got some nerves, homie. But let me know, man, who do you guys have in this back and forth? Are you guys on Aries Spears side or Faizon Love side? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here on my screen to find out how does Heated No Jumper podcast almost started a gang war between the employees. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. Out of here, folks. Peace.